Acha, this is your training room.
Yes.
Okay. So sir is actually into form of training when he is in this session. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I have given 10 marks out of 10 for point number 4.
Yeah.
To help the needy troops. This is my personal example. I will give an example.
Right.
When I was in Gujarat, I was second in command. तो हमारे पास एक हेड कांस्टेबल था. My commanding officer was Mr. Sajjan Singh. एक हमारा हेड कांस्टेबल था. He came during the zero parade. He told that his 2 sons are studying in engineering college और फीस नहीं देने की वजह से मेरे जो बड़े बेटे का नाम कॉलेज से काटा जा रहा है. तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि आपको कितने पैसे की जरूरत है. तो ही टोल्ड मी कि मैंने जो जीपीए में पैसा था मैंने निकाल लिया और मेरे को 50,000 रुपए की जरूरत है. 50,000 आई रिक्वायर. तो उस टाइम में हमने एक लिमिट रखी थी. हमारे पास एक बटालियन लेवल पे लोन होता है, एनजीओ लोन फंड. उसमें हमने लिमिट रखी हुई थी 25,000 रुपए एक आदमी के लिए. मैंने जो मेरा कमांडिंग अफसर था, मैंने इसको रिक्वेस्ट किया कि सर इसको हम इमीडिएटली 25,000 इसके नाम पे और 25,000 किसी दूसरे के नाम पे करके इसके आज ही 12 बजे तक अकाउंट में 50,000 रुपए जमा कर देते हैं और उस जिसके नाम पे हम करेंगे मैं उसको समझा दूंगा. हमने क्या माय कमांडिंग अफसर एग्रीड. हमने तुरंत 50,000 रुपीज एनजीओ लोन फंड से सैंक्शन करके उसके अकाउंट में डाल दिए. The message goes very deep inside the troops. उनको ये पता लगता है कि जो मेरे कमांडिंग अफसर हैं या मेरे जो स्टाफ अफसर्स हैं बटालियन में, they are so helpful. और जो पूरे के पूरे ट्रूप्स हैं, they are really connected with their from the core of the heart with the command. So this my concern is that we should go out of the way to help our troops when they are in need, in the genuine need. They will definitely go a long way in connecting, increasing our connectivity with our troops.
Absolutely. और सर आपके इस हम्बल जेस्चर से डेफिनेटली उसकी कमिटमेंट तो आई होगी उस अंडर कमांड की, बट आई एम श्योर जो और लोग इन्वॉल्व हैं टीम में, सीइंग दिस काइंड ऑफ एन एग्जांपल फ्रॉम द लीडर, दे ऑल नो दैट लीडर विल स्टैंड बाय विद अस इन द इवेंट ऑफ नीड, और वो सबकी कमिटमेंट एनहांस कर देता है.
Exactly.
Yes. So, sir, leader is not a leader who only leads from the front. Leader has to be with the team all throughout. और वो खड़े रहना एक टीम के लिए definitely एक leader का बहुत बड़ा talent है, and people look forward to a leader in that ways. A wonderful example, Jagir sir. What else can we do? The areas of focus अपने interpersonal relations सबके साथ better रखने के लिए BSF में. Any other areas of focus that we can think of? Yes, cohort. Any other areas of focus?
I can add here something. We give very little time to our troops to hear their problems. I have seen many staff officers and commandants who don't have time to listen to their troops. And if you give a patient hearing to any of your needy person, you will definitely come to understand his problem and address his problem. I have seen, मैंने एक adjutant को एक बार देखा, it was lunch time. I joined that battalion recently. One constable was running behind the adjutant, and he was saying that, sir, मेरे घर में मेरी mother is admitted in hospital. और जो adjutant था, he was not listening. वो चले जा रहा था और वो बार-बार उसको फिर थोड़ी देर आगे 100 मीटर भाग के आगे, सर मेरी मदर एडमिट है हॉस्पिटल में और मेरे को छुट्टी जाना है. तो जब उसने 3 बार उसको इग्नोर किया, तो आई वाज न्यू इन दैट बटालियन, तो मैंने एडजुटेंट को मैंने बोला यार प्लीज लिसन हिम, उसको एक बार सुनो और आप सुनो पहले उसके बाद आप उसकी प्रॉब्लम को फिर बताओ कि क्या करना. जब उसने 2 मिनट सुना उसको, एडजुटेंट रियलाइज कि मैं गलत कर रहा था यार, मैं सुन ही नहीं रहा था उसको. तो मैंने जब सुना तो मैं इसको सोल्यूशन कर दूंगा. जब सुनने के बाद में ही एग्रीड और उसको हमने उसी टाइम छुट्टी भेजा. तो मेरा इसमें माय सजेशन इज वी शुड गिव पेशेंट हियरिंग टू आवर ट्रूप्स. इट आल्सो मेक्स डिफरेंस.
Absolutely. और सर वैसे भी जागीर जी एंड ऑल अदर्स, आई एम श्योर यू वुड एग्री, छोटी छोटी चीजें ही हैं जो हमारी एक दूसरे से कनेक्ट बना के रिलेशनशिप स्ट्रेंथन करती हैं. और कई बार अगर हम अपनी काम की वजह से इन चीजों को इग्नोर कर दें तो डेफिनेटली कहीं ना कहीं लैप्सेस आ जाएंगे, रिफ्ट्स आ जाएंगे टीम मेंबर्स के बीच में, और हमारा काम अल्टीमेटली इन द लॉन्ग रन गेट्स अफेक्टेड. सो द पीपल कनेक्ट, द ह्यूमेन अप्रोच, कोलैबोरेटिव वर्किंग, लोगों की सजेशंस इनवाइट करना, and flexing your own interpersonal style to match with others are all things one can do to improve their relationships with others. Now this is what I strongly feel about it. Any other inputs before we move on to the next talent? Any other inputs that we have? Anybody would like to share any personal example out here? Any other input? Okay, so great. With this, we move on to the next very important talent that we're going to discuss. Dr. Dugal will take you forward with this.
Yes, Pooja, thank you. And I think we're due for a quick 5 minutes break.
Sure, sure. We will have enjoy your cup of coffee and then we get back to the remaining 3 talents which are left.
Development, and how do you contribute to it?
Whatever task is assigned to a unit, if they are executing with the perfection and as per the desired standard of force, then the same is putting into the development of organization. There is no specific agenda for a unit as such to, it's a small piece of puzzle in the whole organizational setup. But if you are talking about organic growth of organization, units, they don't have any significant role in growth of organization. However, they retain the ethos, decorum, task, role of force, but organization development is always looked after by the higher headquarters.
Okay. Anybody else who would like to contribute further to what Sanjay sir has said right now?
Ma'am, basically,
yes,
the value that we can add to the organization. That is for the
value that we can add to the organization.
Yeah,
very well
it may
said,
be in
sir.
different form. It may be in the form of changing perception. It may be changing infrastructure. It may be in any form. Whatsoever be the capacity I am holding, in that
Yes,
capacity,
sir.
whatsoever value I can add to that organization, that is for the overall development of the organization.
Right,
that's
sir.
what I can contribute.
Anything else before I come up and I tell you what is it that we're looking forward to as a leader to contribute to? Anybody else? Okay, I will take my turn here, and we would like to say that organization development is a critical and a science-based process that helps organizations build their capacities and achieve greater effectiveness by developing, improving, and reinforcing strategies, structure, and processes. So, you very rightly said that it is nothing but adding value to the organization by putting in our efforts to achieve what the company or the institution or the organization has dreamt for. Talking about the parameters here, the first parameter is you as a person, you see at developing others as a priority. You are giving a lot of importance to brave the difficult conversation. Are you able to talk about the difficult situations, or you are just avoiding them? Recognize the potential in others. Provides clear, practical, and applicable feedback. Are you in a person capacity providing clear, practical, and applicable feedbacks to your undercommands? Follow up after giving advice. Like, I think in the last trait also of the leader, it was mentioned that feedback is something which is very, very important. And then connecting it back. So if you look at it, we're asking you now here, do you do a regular follow-up after giving advice? After you have given somebody an advice, do you go back and revisit? Helps others to arrive at their own solution. So you stay behind the scene and you allow people to come up to their own solutions. Prioritize feedback over harmony when needed. So I think it's late, but not the last. We are even talking about feedback to be given a lot of importance. And I think some of our commandants here had already echoed it back. Help team members in developing their skills and capacities. As a senior member, do you instill that much of trust and confidence, and you help the people to develop their skills and capacities? I think the answers have started pouring, and we can find people who are giving absolute answers and they are absolutely rating themselves perfectly. Okay, let us talk to each one of you here and ask you, what do you think out of this is the one that you are absolutely good on? So it's a bingo 10. Like Mohammed Israel sir says, when it comes to recognize the potential, it's 10. When it provides clear, practical, applicable feedback, it's 10. It's follow-up after giving advice, it's 10. Perfect, sir. Now, where do you want to improve, Mohammed, sir?
Ma'am, first of all, helping others to arrive at their own solutions. Point number 6.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. And yes, point number 1, sees developing others as priority.
Right. So this is going to be your strength area that you capitalize on, or this is your area of focus, sir?
Which one, ma'am?
So you said help others to arrive at their own solution and sees developing others as priority. This is your focus area or this is your strength, sir?
Focus area, ma'am.
Focus area.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect, sir. And sir, what do you think is the best of you that you do to your people? When you talk about developing an organization, how are you contributing to that?
Ma'am, basically, it's a teamwork. If we have a good team, by recognizing the strength of our men, our under command and colleagues, then the goals we set, the objectives we set, the task in hand we have, it can be achieved. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect, sir. Sir, Jagir, sir. Jagir, sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you've been absolutely honest in giving yourself somewhere 7 that I can see.
Yes, ma'am.
Brace the difficult conversation is 7, and prioritize feedback over harmony when needed is 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, are you being modest?
On these points, I am modest.
Okay, and you were looking at these points that are your areas of focus?
My areas of focus are getting feedback and follow up after giving them tasks, giving them advice.
Okay.
And they should be given opportunity and resources to grow, to develop their skills.
Okay. And sir, what is that one thing that could be your strength and that is how you're contributing to the whole vision of BSF?
I recognize the potential in others and see developing others as a priority.
Wow, sir, that's great, sir. Can we hear from anybody else that who would like to contribute and tell us what is that they are actually wanting to work on, or there is something which they actually want to capitalize on? Arun Kumar, sir, can we hear it from you? Arun, sir. अरुण सर, आपने बहुत ही ऑनेस्ट मार्किंग दिए है शायद. अरुण सर, am I audible?
You are audible, ma'am.
Okay, अरुण सर, आपको क्यों लगा कि आप स्टेटमेंट नंबर help others to arrive at their own solutions and prioritize feedback over harmony when needed में आपने अपने आप को साथ क्यों दिया है सर?
Help others to arrive at their own solution. In fact, my opinion is like this: whatever we do in team, and with team we have to come to a common solution. So helping everybody in coming to their own solutions, it will not make a team spirit and teamwork. So we will discuss with each person. I will discuss with each person. I will find out their potential. I will recognize their strength and weaknesses, and have to decide the common solution. So, and motivate everybody, help everybody to understand that practical solution and work on that. That's why I've graded it 7.
Okay. And sir, why have you given on prioritize feedback over harmony when needed?
Ma'am, can you say again, ma'am?
Sir, you have given 7 for prioritize feedback over harmony when needed.
Yeah, this is also related to that, ma'am. Prioritize feedback means not individual feedback. After getting the feedback, what solution I have decided? What is the common solution? My concern is like that.
Right.
And harmony means harmony feedback. This harmony is also what I am telling. There is hairline difference between this. Harmony means whatever feedback has come, everybody has to be motivated to follow that feedback and work on that. Not bringing chaos, specifying everybody. That should not be the job when we are working in team. Our priority should be to convince everybody about the common solution on which we have to work.
Right.
And
sir.
related to that, yeah.
Very true. Tandon sir, I wanted to see your score and somehow the score is not available in the chat box. So can I request you if you can tell us your score, because I am very personally keen in knowing your scores here.
Deliberately, ma'am, I haven't scored myself because I'm having a very difficult time assessing myself on this 5th talent, which is expected of me when it comes to building the organization, ma'am. Because till date, in the span of 26 years, we have always been assessed by our initiating officers. You know, our seniors who write our appraisals, and they have been assessing
That's
on
the
us
ACR
on
that
these
you're referring
parameters.
to, sir.
Definitely. Now it's an APR. It's no longer confidential. So, and very frankly, I'm really having a tough time because in my context, the place where I am, definitely all these parameters when it comes to building the organization, and I have to rate myself, all these parameters, you know, concern dealing with personnel who are directly working under my command in an office environment. My environment is a battalion, you know, it comprises 7 service companies which are deployed in far-flung areas. You know, we are not dealing with our men when it comes to building the organization on these 7, when these 7 parameters, you know, are being discussed presently, you know, very frankly, I am discussing, you know, I am motivating, or, you know, these parameters carry weight for me when I am dealing only with my immediate subordinates. So it is, you know, very frankly, very difficult for me to rate myself on all these parameters. That is why I've kept my silent on this.
Okay. Thank you, Sanjay sir, for being honest here. But after hearing to you, I would just like to say that achievement of an organization, don't you think, is a result of a combined effort of all its men. So I think whatever BSF is today is by virtue of what its people have contributed to it, and what laurels have you brought to the organization by the good work that each one of you is doing and continuing to do so, is what BSF is all about.
Definitely, in a nutshell, whatever, you know, whatever mission, vision statement you spelled out in respect to the force, whatever charter, whatever role and task of the force is, if I'm doing at the end of the day, I'm doing, you know, my bit and some justice to all these tasks, I think, and in turn, I expect the same from my own men. I think if I am doing 50 to 60% of all these, you know, parameters when it comes to building the organization, I think I've done my bit.
Right, sir. Before we move to the next talent, I would like to sum up this talent up and say that truly accountable leadership is the only way to build the organization. And I think each one here in his own capacity has talked about accountability, which is one of the key factors for the development of an organization. Over to you, Dr. Pooja.
Thank you so much, Dr. Duggal, and thank you everybody for being so participative, so engaging. You know, your energy is motivating us, you know, throughout the session. We are moving towards the end of the session. Only last 2 talents are left. But we really appreciate your energy, your participativeness, your togetherness, your sharing of the inputs. Now, moving ahead to the second last talent, the sixth talent, which is mastering innovation and change. I'm sure you know from our interactions with the BSF commandants, with the DIGs over past few months, you know, we've come to know how in different ways BSF is also changing, innovating, coming up with the new ways. And, you know, especially in the wake of things that have been happening, the pandemic happened, a lot of other things happening at, you know, the national and international levels also. I'm sure there are a lot of things, a lot of changes which are required. So another talent of a leader is, you know, how a leader comes up with innovation. Innovation is when you challenge the status quo, when you come up with new things to spark that fresh thinking in your team. So how good are you to adapt to situations, change wherever change is required? And how good are you to try and experiment with new ways of working wherever within your challenges and wherever within your restrictions you can do that? So that is what we are going to discuss in this talent. Again, going by the flow, we would request you to do a self-analysis on these parameters. First and most important parameter, do you really articulate the need for change? आप सबके constraints हैं, BSF एक तरीके से काम करता है, SOPs clearly defined है, but उन SOPs में भी जब आप अपना किसी स्पेसिफिक प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं या किसी स्पेसिफिक एरिया में काम कर रहे हैं जहाँ डिफिकल्टीज बहुत ज्यादा हैं, सो डू यू फील कि नहीं इस तरीके को हम थोड़ा अपने वे ऑफ वर्किंग में चेंज कर सकते हैं wherever possible? Then create a climate for innovation within teams. नए तरीके काम करने के, क्या आप उसके लिए अडेप्टेबल हैं? क्या आप उसके लिए एनकरेज करते हैं अपने टीम मेंबर्स को? Then give praise to new ideas when it's due. अगर आपके कोई अंडर कमांड्स जब आप अपना मीटिंग्स करते हैं, इंटरेक्शंस करते हैं, अगर वो चैलेंजेस को मीट करने के लिए कोई नए तरीके सजेस्ट करते हैं, so do you praise them for that? Do you appreciate? Then do you challenge conventional views to the benefit of the business? Here we would say benefit of your team. नए तरीके काम में लाना. Then bring insight from outside the business. For BSF, it would be what is going on in the world at national and international level. Whatever are the best practices in your area, do you try to think how we can, you know, get them to BSF? Then work with others to develop their ideas. आप encourage करते लोगों को और उनकी idea development में भी आप उनके साथ काम करते हैं. So we would want you to rate yourself on these parameters. Let's give ourselves 2 minutes. Ratings are coming in. Sanjay Tandon sir given 8, 9, 10, 10, 10. Wow, Sanjay sir. Sanjay sir, what is that unique and innovativeness in your team that you bring about? I would like to know from you. You've given 10, 10, 10. Sanjay Tandon sir.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I have deliberately stopped myself from, you know, assessing myself on the last 3 or 4 parameters, but definitely we are witnessing for the last few years, we are witnessing across globally, we are witnessing unconventional leadership. Now, yes. My force was raised in 1965 with a role and task, but going by the times, I certainly feel time has come to challenge those conventions, yes. Whether it in terms of ops, whether in terms of administration, whether in terms of logistics. Okay. And I think I will not deliberately dwell on each and every parameter, but definitely being a commandant, being the cutting edge of the force, of leading a say cutting edge battalion in a force, definitely the environment, the organization provides enough leeway in delegation to, you know, it gives you sufficient time, resources to bring innovation in the force. Yeah. So we've been, you know, there's not much of scope to challenge the already set conventions, but definitely we have been challenging the conventions on operational fronts also, because you know, when you break the pattern in terms of operations, when it means bringing surprise at times, you are making achievements when you're not following the league or when you're not following conventions. When it comes to administration also, at times, administrationally, we are dealing with procurements, we are subject to audits also, but at times, if your intentions are right and you are challenging convention, and if your intentions are right, you don't have any malafide intention, I think there is no harm in breaking the convention and adopting new innovation. I think you need not be scared of the convention now. So
Absolutely.
I've been doing it, but I think I won't be able to reveal much.
Yeah, absolutely. Sanjay sir, आपने ये बोला again, I humbly appreciate this because पिछले कुछ बैचेस में जब हम ये इंटरेक्शंस भी कर रहे थे तो लोगों के ओपिनियंस बहुत वेरिड थे. कुछ सीनियर कमांडेंट्स ने हमें बोला कि मैम देयर इज नो स्कोप ऑफ मच इनोवेशन इन बीएसएफ, but other commandants had a different opinion, what even you are sharing, that if we try, definitely you have your SOPs, you have your set methods, there's a way of functioning in BSF, but yes, within those constraints also, if as a leader you flex your style and you try, there are ways in which you can be innovative. Vijay sir, you would like to say something here? Vijay sir, aap unmute kar lijiye please.
Yes ma'am.
Yes.
Innovations are the necessity of these organizations because we are an organization, we are an operational force, and as told by the DG BSF SS Deshwal when he had visited the BUP, I had made an innovative idea, had made basically a barrier in the river Ravi River, and it was a barrier to stop smugglers from crossing from India to Pakistan.
Okay.
So what he said that is that you go one step and the smugglers go two steps ahead of you. So to keep basically it's a race, like what we have presently, a lot of smuggling is going through drones. So we need to step, the smugglers are one or two steps ahead of us. So to catch up, basically it's like a race. Until and unless we build up on innovations or develop new ideas or bring up new thoughts, the smugglers will be always up, or smugglers or the counterpart will be always ahead of us. So innovation is absolutely important. And each commander and each and everybody should be thinking up of ideas and methods and means through which we can improve our operational purposes, administrative, whatever it is that is required. And being a cutting edge, basically being a cutting edge of the force. So our feedback is also very important. Until unless we are not innovative, then we will not be able to guide the higher ups what we require. So innovations is a requirement of the force.
Absolutely, Vijay sir. I share the same opinion. I hope Dr. Taranjit, you remember last time when we were with the other BSF batches, many of them had voiced their concerns कि हमारे पास ज़्यादा scope नहीं होता innovate करने का. But with this batch, I feel they are very open to the ideas. All the set of commandants here, all success stories, and they are actually flexing and they are actually trying their level best. Anyone has any of these instances to share where you brought about change or where you helped your team change successfully within your own limitations? Anyone has any examples?
I would like to add what Mr. Vijay Oza was telling.
Yeah.
It would be better to tell the innovation or say term innovation as improvisation.
Yes, yes.
Like you would have heard improvised explosive devices. Say, irrespective of whether resources are available or not, our superior, they feel like this task should be done within a given time frame.
Right.
But they are well aware the resources are not available, but they feel like when they were there as commanding officer of a unit, they used to improvise the things within available resources and accomplish the given task. It has to be done. Seeing the operational requirement, if you are not doing it, you are failing. No doubt fingers will be pointed towards you only. So it is coming naturally. Even if you are within battalion at battalion level, you have to do it. You have to be innovative. You have to improvise the things, and you have to bring certain changes which may not be conventional, but you will have to do those things to perform on the ground. If you are not able to perform, certainly you are at risk. You will be just facing your senior and superior who won't be happy with you. So you have to be innovative enough, or say you have to improvise the things to perform.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही सर. सर कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं ऐसे कि पैंडेमिक में कुछ हुआ हो जिसकी वजह से चेंज बहुत फास्ट चाहिए होगा, या टीम को चेंज के लिए अडेप्ट करने में कहीं कोई दिक्कतें आई, ऐसे कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं सर? व्हाट्स पैंडेमिक?
What Ozha was telling, he has put a barrier. It was his innovation. It was not provided by the organization. The fencing is put all over, be it Bangladesh border or be it Pakistan border. Fencing has been made by the organization, I mean the post headquarters of Border Security Force. But what obstacle, in addition to that, he is putting, it is his innovation. The same way here at my place, we have put up so many things at our own level to create another barrier so that a smuggling or say crime doesn't take place in the given area of responsibility. I may name a few, but it is not necessary to name those things which have been done locally. My point is, innovation is need of the hour, and it is being done by each and every commanding officer, or say even at lower formations also.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful. Any other inputs here? Anybody would like to share?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, innovation is essentially being a
I'd like to
Arun sir and Chandrakant and
innovation. I
Upadhyay.
am in.
Yeah.
One by one, if we can take Khantra sir, you may go ahead, and then we can listen to Arun sir.
I think
Is
I
that-
am.
Adding
Am
to
I
Mr.
audible,
Upadhyay, I would like to tell that is innovation is the need of hour. You have, being an operational force, you cannot depend upon the particular strategy. You need to innovate yourself to adopt that particular situation. Every situation is different, and every situation you have to act in a different manner. So you need to innovate accordingly. Just in copybook style, you cannot do anything. Even I can tell with complete authority that you also definitely adopt certain innovations in this to design this particular course. Even you might have gone beyond the purview of your this thing limit. So that is the way. Like me, I can quote one example also. In my case, I am deployed in an area where there is no fencing. There is no fencing otherwise in the border, Indo-Bangla border. Generally, where there is feasibility, the fencing has been erected. But my AOR is completely unfenced because it is basically an enclave that we are girding around. So there is no light, there is no fencing also. So thus to create a barrier, we innovate to create certain fencing that is, improvised fencing we have created, like using the local materials. Similarly, there is no light. So we have devised certain lights to illuminate the area so that the trans-border crime can be prevented. So everywhere you will find there is innovation, and this is part of the organizational ethics. I mean to say, it is being an operational force. It is done by every commandant. It is done at every level, even below the level of commandant also, they also improvise to certain things. So improvisation is the need of hour, and improvisation is the need of the situation, and it is bound to happen, and everybody used to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chaudhary sir. Very well
Ma'am,
said. Arun sir, can we have your inputs now?
Ma'am,
Anji.
Yeah, ma'am. In fact, I am deployed. My battalion is deployed at Indo-Bangladesh border, where 50% of my area is fenced and 50% is unfenced. So in the fenced area, what earlier was happening, it is our deployment line of deployment was on one side of fencing. Fencing is erected at a distance of 150 yards from highway. So after, on the direction of frontier headquarters and in discussion with the commandants, it has been decided that troops will be deployed ahead to fencing during the night also, and that will be more effective and deterrent. So we started sending them ahead of the fence, between the fence and IB during night also. That area is although illuminated, but that have several challenges also. So since we started sending in forward area, the crime drastically reduced. Similarly, in unfenced area, there are 4 rivers in my area. So in river area, it was very challenging to check the smuggling. We have started using improvised lighting system with the help of solar lights, and with the help of local people, we hold the connection in those areas by improvised methods. We laid some floating obstacles in these rivers, and that also worked tremendously. So improvisation, innovation, these are essentially needed in the force, and it is being done everywhere.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Great. Thank you so much. So what I can understand is कि आप सब अपने areas में नई चीजें लाना, change लाने की पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं, and you're all coming up with great, innovative, creative ideas, I would say.
You are not audible, ma'am.
हाँ जी.
Sorry, ma'am, I am not getting.
Sir, are you able to hear me? Am I audible, Dr. Dugal?
Yes, Dr. Pooja.
Okay, maybe Arun sir is facing some network issues. So at the end of it, you know, yeah.
Ma'am, basically, there is very less scope of, new things in BSF. What we need is we need to do routine things in a better way, ma'am.
Yeah. Something that sparks fresh thinking, Israel sir.
We have to have innovative ideas to do the routine things, and if we don't do, if we are not innovative, then the things gets worse and worse.
Yes. बिल्कुल सही है इजराइल सर. अगर हम बिल्कुल नई चीजें नहीं करेंगे बीएसएफ में तो एक स्टैग्नेशन आ जाएगा. और आपकी बात बिल्कुल सही है कि अगर हम बहुत बड़ी इनोवेशन नहीं कर सकते, देन एवरी लीडर शुड एट देयर लेवल, जैसे अभी अरुण सर ने भी एग्जांपल शेयर करे, व्हाटएवर रूटीन थिंग्स आर देयर, व्हाटएवर चैलेंजिंग थिंग्स आर देयर, उनको एटलीस्ट मीट करने के लिए क्रिएटिव डिफरेंट वेज आ सकते हैं. So I was just going through the scoring. I'm sure, you know, with the kind of scoring that is given, many of you are already doing well in that area, and this is the reason each one of you is a great leader and is a success in his own ways. So with this, we move forward to the last discussion of the day, which is on the last but not the least, talent, which is bringing the best out in you. Over to you, Dr. Dugal, for the same.
Thanks, Dr. Pooja. When we're talking about bringing the best in you, I think what we've previously talked about is also where we are harnessing the best in you. I would like to discuss with you and would like to come with you on the same platform to understand what does it actually mean being the best of you? What do you think it means? Have I asked such a difficult question? The most participative lot has gone quiet.
Ma'am,
yes, Oja sir.
Yes, ma'am. Being the best, actually, ma'am, it is always a situation. Life is always a situation. It has got both good and bad points both. So bringing the best is that reducing the bad points and bringing up the good points so that the outcome is best. That is my point of view. To summarize, that is what is bringing up the best in you.
Okay. So what you're saying is absolutely right. And if I term it up in a different manner, I think what you're wanting to say is that we need to believe in ourselves and have faith in our abilities. And that is what is getting best out of you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Anybody else, sir?
Giving you 100%. Full potential.
Okay. Vishal sir, very well said. Giving you 100%. Anything else? Anybody else? Amitabh sir, we've not heard you post lunch. Are you there with us? DP sir, we have not heard you post lunch. Are you there with us? Okay.
I'm giving the best means an individual should be so self-motivated that he is always in the line of the goal or the direction set by himself or his senior headquarters for ultimate benefit of the organization.
Very rightly said, sir. If I connect it back to what Dr. Pooja said right now about creativity and innovation, I would like to say and put it across in this manner that every time when you are tempted to react in the same old way, just take a pause and ask yourself, do you want to be the prisoner of the past or the pioneer of the future? And I think you will have all answers to yourself. This is the rating scale that we want you to rate. Performs under pressure. Are you able to perform under pressure? Keeps going in the face of the setbacks. Manages his or her own energy effectively. You're able to channelize. Actively looks for opportunities for development. You don't leave any stone unturned. Recognize his or her strength in their role. Personal enjoyment as well as achievement at work. You know how to balance both. Express gratitude whenever it is required. Sir, expressing gratitude is very, very important. Are we ready to do that? Are we doing that? Recognizes stressors and manages their impact. Sir, it is very easy to say that we have stress. But do you have that knowledge of the stressor you're able to recognize? Because the moment you know the stressors, managing it becomes easy for us. I think we've started getting, the scores have started pouring in. Surinder sir, you've given yourself 7 on the 4th. Actively look for opportunities for development. Why so, sir? 7 here. Surinder sir, why are you not capitalizing on opportunities for development?
It's all easier said than done.
Oh, it is easier said than done. So you also want to go for opportunities to develop?
I have been looking for the appropriate opportunities, and it's a delight listening to all the colleagues here. I'm just in an absorbent mood, and I just gave the rating because there is a lot more scope to improve upon.
Right. I think with this talent, the scores are favorably going up. A lot of people are having 10 on 10, a bingo score for a couple of points, and people are saying, yes, we have it. Like after a couple of times, I have seen Sanjay sir's score coming up on the board with us, where he's given 3 for 10 and he's given. Jagir sir, your score is wanting me to ask you why the score. Why do you think that feedback or the face of setbacks is something which is a challenge to you? Jagir sir.
Ma'am, I think this is the score he has given according to BPR&D. He is on deputation.
No, this is a very common. This we should openly accept it. This is common for every human being. If there is a setback in the career or in the life of any person, any human being, definitely it hampers his performance. And
right, sir.
It is very common to me also.
Okay. Okay, DP sir, you have given 7 to recognize stressor and manage their impact. So can I take this to be your area of focus? DP sir.
Ma'am, I take it this point that way, that the stressors in forces are generally higher headquarters, and I can't know how to manage their impact. Whatever stresses comes, that has to be handled, but pretty well it is being handled till now.
Okay, great, sir.
I have given one more point, 6, that is
yes, sir.
Recognizing his or her strength in their role. I'm absolutely poor in this particular field. I don't know how to recognize a person, ma'am. I take the people on their face value. I get carried away. I trust them easily, and sometimes it gets it becomes counterproductive. That is a point by my giving this point, these personal numbers.
Okay. Okay, I think that's a very honest submission that you've given for yourself. And I think we are quite appreciative of that. Anand Kumar, sir, you've given yourself 6 on performs under pressure. I think all of you are champions in that. How come it is that you've given 6?
Oh, all may be
Anand,
champion.
sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am, all may be champion, but I am
Anand,
not.
sir, your voice is very slow, sir. Please raise your volume.
Raise the voice, Anand, raise the voice.
Madam, yeah. Hello.
Yes, Anand, sir.
Ma'am, all may be champion in this field, their field, but I am not champion. I am a mediocre, so I cannot perform under stress. Definitely, अगर इसमें ये कहूँ कि स्ट्रेस में मैं बड़ा अच्छा काम करता हूँ, ये ऐसा काम करता हूँ, तो मेरे पार्ट में गलत होगा. स्ट्रेस में मैं स्ट्रेस में रहता हूँ और स्ट्रेस को खत्म होने देता हूँ कि स्ट्रेस कब खत्म होगी. खत्म होने के बाद अगर स्ट्रेस हो गया तब जाके मेरे से अच्छा काम होता है. स्ट्रेस में मैं अच्छा काम नहीं कर पाता.
Okay, a true submission coming from you then, sir. I think we should appreciate that you're ready to accept this on the platform, which is public to all. Any one of us who would like to share, like Arun sir has given 10 on 10, absolute bingo scores coming for 10. So would anybody like to share an instance or any scenario where you think was what you capitalized on and you've given your best shot to the organization? सर बेटर वाला भी चलेगा, बेस्ट शॉट होने वाला होगा बाद में, अभी पता हो सकता है, बट बेटर शॉट भी चलेगा सर. Do you think there is something that how have you contributed to the organization? What do you think is your strength area? Can you give us an example, sir?
Ma'am, point number 6.
Right, sir.
Point number 6, personal enjoyment as well as achievement at work.
Right, sir.
It is very important that we should enjoy what we are doing, ma'am.
Right, sir.
Like it's the way we are doing things, and if we enjoy our work,
the work-life balance needs to be restored.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And our work will be a success, ma'am.
Okay, sir, the way you said it, I remembered once upon a time, Vijay Mallya said, we need to work hard and party harder.
Not
Yes,
in
ma'am.
that way, man.
Yes, ma'am. Very well. This is very relevant.
Right. I think all of us have very well understood these 7 traits that would be flowing in the coming days now. The sessions have been planned in such a manner that you would be taken through this journey talking about these 7 talents through various sessions. Our co-coaches would be joining you to do the same. But before I cover up and I say end to this 7th talent, I am wanting to quote here a beautiful line of Tyra Banks, and he says, I am competitive willingly with myself. I always try to push past my own borders. And I think each of the commandant here is standing up to push up their own borders and move to the new horizons there. Over to you, Dr. Pooja.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Dugal. And thank you everybody for participating so well while we were giving an overview of the 7 talents. Now, like we just discussed in the starting, how your journey of next 12 days is going to be. Based on these 7 talents, we have made different sessions wherein we will have sessions on, how do you set directions for your own self? How do you ensure that you possess all the capabilities, excuse me, all the capabilities for achieving excellence in executing the tasks? How do you motivate your undercommands and others who are working with you? What can you do to further, I'm so sorry, What can you do to further strengthen your relationships? How do you develop the organization, transform the area of work? How do you master innovation, bring about changes in your organization? And above all, how can you be bringing the best in you? So with this, we have further planned in detail. I'm so sorry. The sessions, this is going to be the session flow, how it is going to flow from day 1 till day 12. I'm sure team AITT has also shared with you, and we look forward to such engaging discussions with you in these sessions ahead. And to the final quote with which we sum up for today's program overview session is given by Walter Lippmann when he says, the final test of a leader is that he leaves behind him in other men the conviction and the will to carry on. With this, we come to the end of the session. I'm sure I and Dr. Dugal enjoyed being with each one of you. It was a pleasure listening to your inputs, getting your
with every batch joining us, we have a great and a tremendous amount of learning that we carry with us.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, the sessions ahead with your participativeness, with your energy, it's actually going to be a journey where we learn, where we collaborate, and where we develop together. So with this, thank you everybody, and namaskar, and have a great evening ahead. So thanks.
Thank you so much. Wonderful interacting with you, and over to the AITT team. Dr. Vani, are you there? Vani, are you there?
Just call them up and check up if they are there, ma'am.
Sure.
Any inputs till then? Any inputs? Anything that you want to say about today? Any observations? Anything that you want to change? Anything new that you want to incorporate?
Or rather, if we can ask you, what is your one takeaway that you would do from this session today? Any takeaways from the session? I think we had a lot of people who've been participative with us throughout the day. So we would look for the same energy towards the end also. Yes, Sanjay sir.
Yes, ma'am. All the 7 talents we have been deliberating upon the whole day have been a big takeaway. Today, I think it was a monologue session, more of our side. It was a sort of experience, not an experience sharing session where we were a bit more vocal because the requirements of the session were like that. But definitely all the 7 talents will enable us as a commandant to do an introspection, and that where we are lacking, what are our strengths, our weaknesses, and what we need to improve upon to make our organization a better force, ma'am.
Yes, sir. We were just trying to set the tone so that everybody knows what is in store for them. What is it going to be like? What is the most discovery that is going to happen? And that is what I and Dr. Pooja were trying to do for the day. Any other person who would like to state what is the takeaways that they had for the day? Any special takeaway? Pooja, you are on mute, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, in between, are you in? Do you give your agreement or acceptance to the 7 traits that model that we've developed for the 12 days ahead? The 7 talents of a great leader. Any inputs on that? Because this is going to be the model on which we would be discussing and deliberating in the journey ahead.
And I think all the sessions, detailings of the sessions are mentioned in the booklet which has been given to you. If you look at it, what is the everyday coverage that we would be doing under these talents is detailed in that session flow, which Dr. Pooja just now showed to you people. So anything that you have to tell us or you have to say to us before we say bye to you for the day?
Yes, Anurag sir, would you like to say something? Any observations?
No, all the traits that is talent 1 to 7 जो भी बताया गया वो चीजें बिल्कुल सही हैं उसमें से ये है कि हम इसको कितना अपने डे टू डे फंक्शनिंग में हम इसको इनकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हैं but one of the takeaway for me basically it was to have a maintain strong relationship in face of conflict ये मेरे लिए एक पर्सनल ये था जिसको कि I think I'm a bit इसमें शायद मैं उतना बेहतर नहीं हूँ but इसको मैं और बेहतर करने की कोशिश करूंगा because in case of conflict regarding decision with if it is in case of with seniors also I'm a bit adamant on my side so this is one of the things which I would like to improve upon that's all.
Absolutely. And Anurag sir, we have a specifically session designed, where our coach expert will also be discussing how to, handle conflicts well and how to deal with difficult situations. Absolutely.
And sorry, Dr. Pooja, Anurag ji, there's a session on managing upwards as well. So how do you manage people who are senior to you? But I would like to point out that accepting that this is one area of improvement personally in public means that you're quite aware of the area of improvement, and I think half of the battle is won. So kudos to you, and I'm sure Dr. Pooja and Taranjeet has done a great job in making you being aware of that. Over to you.
Amani, I would like to mention here, they all have done a wonderful job because, throughout our discussion in the various talents, most of them also, focusing on strengths is easier, but most of them also focused on identifying areas of, where they need to focus upon. And this, itself on day one shows their curiosity to learn and to move ahead in their ladder of success further. So that's, we all should have a great round of applause for each one of them. They've all done a wonderful task today.
Good. Anybody else who would like to share about what are the areas of improvement? We would be glad to hear that. Anybody else? Now, the context of this session, that is program overview taken by Dr. Taranjeet and Pooja, was to make you aware about what are the talents that we would be talking in this entire program. And if you look at the schedule, the sessions are mapped to each of these talents. If you look at your participant handbook, the course flow part has the entire flow for next 12 days. And it is a color-coded flow wherein each theme is covered in different sessions. There can be some more session in one of the themes, some less session. That is all depending on the interaction or the interaction with various commandants and the expert committee that is part of this particular program. So, say for instance, we'll start with set direction, and that's the session that we are going to start our day with tomorrow. So before we wrap the day, anybody who wishes to share what is the key takeaway from today's session, please feel free to share your inputs on chat, or you are free to share it on voice. Anybody?
Ma'am, all the faculty has delivered the, the topics excellently, and it was truly interactive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Any areas of feedback that you would like to give? Because we believe that feedback is important, and everyday feedback helps us to be better the next day. And that's where the program that you see today is all because of the feedback that we have got in the last 4 programs that has helped us to be, better at it.
मैम ये 5 बजे खत्म हो जाए तो ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा।
जी आनंद जी, मैंडेट हमें 400 मिनट्स का दिया है तो हम कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं, आज हम जल्दी खत्म कर देंगे, डोंट वरी।
नॉर्थ ईस्ट में तो ऐसा लग रहा है 9 बज गए रात के में।
अच्छा, हमें भी निकलते निकलते ऐसे ही लगेगा, दिल्ली में भी छिप जाता है सूरज जल्दी। आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट इज I mean, why we would like you to sit for late hours. That's not our intention. Before I wrap up, Dr. Taranjeet and Pooja, thank you as always.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
For
Thank
setting
you
the context so well.
Thank you.
And we catch up next. And of course, given an opportunity, I hope you'll have many more opportunities to interact with the forces, and especially BSF Commandants. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mani. Thank you so much,
everybody,
sir.
and have a great evening ahead. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, all of you, for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this brings us to the close of day one. Day one, we intentionally use to settle you in, of course, with the way that we take the session, the context of the entire program, the 7 talents, and where are your strengths and what are your areas of improvement. Before I close the day, I would suggest that be very mindful of what areas of improvements that you have pointed out for yourself. No need to share it with anybody. Use the participant handbook to write them down. Research says that when you write, you are more conscious of, fulfilling what you write rather than just, keeping in your mind. The second thing is that from tomorrow, this session, the link would be open at 9 o'clock. There is a voluntary yoga or meditation session that will start from 9:15 and will go till 9:30. Dr. Neha Jenner is the one who is going to take you through this 11-day journey with her. My suggestion is don't miss that session. Those 15 minutes are one of the best sessions feedback that we get. Reason being, I don't want to disclose it more. I'm sure once you join, you would understand why I was saying so. So tomorrow, the day would look like, we would start with the link would be open at 9. The voluntary meditation session would start from 9:15 to 9:30. Then we'll be having a small recap. Then we'll have a session on the impact that you want to have. This is going to be part of the leadership talent called set direction. The impact, the vision, the mission, and the values that you would like to inculcate in your team and in yourself. That will be there till lunch. And then in the second half, we will be joined by Colonel Sohail, who has extensively worked with BSF on a session called decision making. These are the 2 themes that we are going to touch on tomorrow. We call it a day, but I would request my team, Divya or Tanvi, to share the feedback link. The feedback link would be shared on the WhatsApp also. Please fill that feedback, and your honest comments are always welcome, taken in a good spirit, positive spirit. The intention is to be better every day. With this, we close. Take good care of yourself. Shubh Ratri. Kal milenge. Jai Hind. The link would be open. The link would be open. Sorry. The link would be open for next 5 minutes if you want to interact with your cohort. Please feel free to do so. We sign off for the day. We meet tomorrow at 9 o'clock. The link would be open. I'll be there around 9:15. Thank you. Shubha Ratri.